Wait a minute, I need a flashlight.
Okay.
Where's my headset thing? Here it is. Be right back.
Okay.
Gotta get this out of the minivan. Because I was thinking about it. And I forget. I think about it and then I go off and do something else and then I forget. And I don't want it to freeze because this one's carbonated. And it's in a can. I got it to try. I get stuff to try.
That's good. That's a good thing to do.
This is fuzzy and gutsy
Fuzzy and gutsy.
probiotic soda, culture pop soda. It non-GMO, plant-based and vegan, fizzy, juicy, zesty, lively, gutsy. Get it? It's for its stomach health. Get it? Gutsy.
I like that. Gutsy.
It's watermelon, lime, and rosemary.
Watermelon, lime.
And rosemary. Soda you can feel good about. Sudbury, Massachusetts. Carbonated. Has sea salt, citric acid, organic rosemary. You want to try it, Mom? Want to give a little taste? Little taste. It'll be good for you. I think you're constipated. What do you think? Let's see. She took one sip. She's going back in for another. Nice and light. 3 sips. So you must like it, huh?
It has a
Different kind of flavor?
flavor.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, I didn't lightly shake. I was wondering about that too. Oops. It's not that carbonated. Want to try it again when I mixed up the flavors?
Mix them all together.
Yeah, I mixed them all together. Try that. I made butter. I gotta remember to pour that out too. Before it gets too late. Alright. Clean up my gutsy soda. Alright. You like it?
It has a kind of a kick to it.
Everything has a kick to it, Ma. That salsa, though, that was a little spicy for those taquitos. I went up to a place up in Cuesta, about 12 miles north of where I live in northern New Mexico, and got some taquitos for Mom, and I got a cheeseburger. I just wanted a place that was just good food, man. Just good. Yeah, I guess the moon's in Taurus. You know, Taurus and the moon's in Taurus, so I just had a hankering for a good meal that I didn't have to make myself. So, called, put in my order, and they said it'll be about 12 minutes, and I drove up there to get it, and it was a good. It didn't even make it home. I ate it before I came up the hill. I ate my whole cheeseburger. I thought it was gonna be like, I thought when I said all the fixings, they had like a chili burger with chili and bacon and all. I thought that's what I was, but that's all right. It's okay. It's just I didn't clarify. It's my fault. I didn't, you know, but it was just a burger, and they had lettuce and tomato, and man, you could taste the difference between fresh vegetables that are grown around you. The stuff at the store don't even have flavor anymore. It's just, I wonder what year that stopped, when you stopped getting flavor, you know? And you're not getting a whole lot of nutrients out of it anyway. It's just all, nothing's like it used to be, man. They didn't carry nothing over, even the practical stuff. The whole world's just getting goofy. Goofy. Oh, better put these in the fridge. I got my weekly. 2 of these a week I treat myself. I take a couple sips every day. Sometimes. Some days I don't. I don't feel like it. I just want to drink water. Finicky, persnickety. Finicky and persnickety. Ready, Ma? All right, let's do this. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heoke empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Today's a pretty okay day. Yesterday was hard for me, energetically. And, you know, when I have bad days and I freaking go back and I get it out, I go dance it out, I yell, I sing, I just, whatever angst is in me, I just gotta get it out. So, I notice, like, days that, like, where I'm mad, like, I'm not accepting my life on my life's terms. I noticed this because I've been paying extra attention. Like, the next day, when I get mad, my gums will bleed. Isn't that a trip? There's a direct correlation between anger, psychic energy, all that stuff. It all comes out like that expression, stuff that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's anger. That's toxicity. Literally. You know? So I was like, I was going to brush my teeth before this talk, and I was like, no, I'll wait a little while and brush them with Mom when we do it together. And, but I had something on my tooth, so I just took my toothbrush and did like that. And it was real light, and my gum just started bleeding. And I was like, man, that's because I was not in my daily disciplines yesterday. I was just mad. I was powerless. See, well, then every day, that's what it always comes down to. Whenever I get upset about anything, it's because I don't have any control over the outcome of the situation. And I want to have control. I know I don't have control. So, I get frustrated. Today was better. I didn't do much. Didn't have a lot of energy. I was very lethargic. I had a lot of fatigue today. I did manage to go up. I took a shower and then went up to get the burger and the taquitos for me and Mom. And that was kind of cool. It was like so cheap too, because it was really their prices are pretty inexpensive too. And the views are even better. That's what I use. I used the thumbnail tonight for that. And so from the parking lot before I left, I was like, God, man, God delivered us at one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And I've been around, you know? I mean, this place is just freaking gorgeous. It's just, anyway. So I made some notes. I had some things I wanted to talk about. Did the batteries just die? I think the batteries just die. I can't find the cable that I had to charge it. I can charge it, but oh well, it's just not supposed to be. Well, anyway, some of the notes I had. Back in my days, I went. Ooh, good catch! It totally. Did you see that? I wasn't even looking. Oh, that was a good one. That was my spidey senses. I'm gonna make cookies tomorrow, and use the fancy chocolate chips. These were probably like $6 at the little market here, but little market's right there. It's real handy though. Saves me a 30-mile round trip into the store, into town to get stuff like that, you know. And they're pretty smart. They like to get things that like the people need, you know, like that one thing that you need. So I get Mom's Epsom salt for her feet and when we soak our feet, because I started soaking mine too. So some of the things I've been thinking about is we're seeing the product of people's free will a lot. And here's an interesting fact that a lot of people might not know about, because mostly people don't care about crap like this. These are just little. My friend Stacy, she used to call it little fiction, and it was something from her dad. Her dad had, it was like one of her dad's sayings about is that a little fiction and fact from Nicole's almanac, you know. Well, I was her. She went by her name's Stacy. So anyway, so I always stuck with me. So these are decorations of fictions and facts from Marge's almanac, as I see it. And but I picked up this one. I was in recovery from alcohol for a number of years. Given my choice and my own choices, I'm a total lush, man. I'm a drunk. I'm a freaking falling down. I don't care, you know. Good time, Marjo, you know, all that stuff. And the consequences just escape me every single time. And one thing I learned in those rooms, I went for like 14 years, you know. I still carry those disciplines, those concepts, the traditions, you know, all the stuff that I learned. I carry the good stuff that I learned, and all the stuff that people ruined, I just leave all that stuff. But I carry the good stuff, and something that people don't realize is that when people start drinking, you know, like I started drinking when I was pretty young. I had a lot of hurt. It does heal a lot of hurts. It numbs you. It hurt. It makes you feel better. People feel better in a lot of ways. Made me. I loved it. I love Oblivion. Playing cards. And they're like, Marge, go. And I'm looking at the cards, and all the cards are all for suit. I mean, that's a fun place for me. That's a place I like to be. Not a lot of other people like to join me there, so it's just best I stay a little bit more grounded. But a little tidbit though is once people start drinking, you know, like you drink in high school, like they were already calling me 240 in high school because on Fridays I was drinking 80 fluid ounces of Mickey's. Malt liquor and stuff like that. Yeah, we used to race. I did it one time. I don't want to make it sound like I did it all the time. I did it when I raced in 40s. I won. I mean, this is stuff that people should not be proud of. No claim to fame, right? For years and years, that was the only thing I was good at, is I could drink a lot and maintain, you know, my upward position, and people were somehow impressed by that. And then I learned how to do other things and became, anyway. So, but people stop developing when they start drinking. They're so they have the same, like, you got all these, so what, that's what we're seeing out in the whole world. You got all these lushes, you got all these drunks in DC, there are all these, in the governor's offices, all these people of authority, they had a long, hard, rough day, they got to take the edge off, right, all of that. And then they do it, they got to drink until they can go to sleep or pass out, and do it because of their conscience, all the crap that they're doing. They can't hardly live with themselves, So you got to drink more, and, as you pass out, wake up and do it all over again, right? Because that's just easier than changing your behavior, I'm pretty sure. So, like, oh boy who's over there playing house over there in blue yellow land. I'm not even going to say the words because it's all just theatrics. It's all nonsense. It's all reindeer games. It breaks my heart every day to see so many people buying into this stuff. It makes me sad that this is what people are for, when the cracks of society in this nation here, in this land that I love. People are just freaking... It's just, it don't make... there's karma coming. There's karma coming. I assure you, it's coming. So that dude, think about how long he's been he's had a bottle in his desk drawer. How many years this guy has, right? He's what, 80, 107 or something like that now? So if he started drinking, in college, or, or even, his parents he probably was stealing it from his parents younger than that, so his mentality stopped there. So we got this guy with all this, because of who he is and who he's related to, and because he's willing to be an active participant in this play, and the guy's mentality is like, that's why he's freaking he's got a wet brain, man. When people saturate their brain with alcohol, either it'll kill you or it'll pickle you, and then ultimately it'll kill you. Ultimately. I have never, in all 48 years, never heard any story about any freaking prominent alcoholic that everybody gathered around and celebrated their life because they were such an outstanding human being. That's not a situation. Maybe it's a situation that's happened. Maybe somebody out there like that exists. I just don't know about them. Anyway, so that was it. It was just that people stop progressing, stop advancing, And they used to say that girls they say that girls advanced quicker than men. Women advance quicker than men. And then what? All of a sudden, men, pass aside. They shifted into gear. And they're like, no, we're going to be smarter than them, bro. No, it's because they're a lot of guys are bigger and stronger and use their control and power and dominance and try to establish fear. And so they got ahead of the game, but the game's changing. I saw Gigi. I don't know if Gigi's going to see this or not, but I'm going to put this out there because she had a very good question. And because I was talking about the importance of keeping your energies, paying attention to your gut, heart, mind, your chakra system, all of it. Just keeping yourself in balance. And she had a good question. She wanted to know, how she can do that with having gastric bypass surgery from having surgery. Well, your body and your energy field, they are separate. They're not the same. So you can concentrate on your energy field, on any one you want. And I like to picture mine as these little, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I do a lot. I started out in meditation. When I started meditating, learning how with my training wheel, so to speak, I did a lot of guided meditations. And last night was trippy, man. I didn't sleep very good. I've been up since 2:30. I rest. Yes, but I was doing, and I've done this a couple times before, so I know that like the proverbial veil is thinning more. And because have you ever seen through your eyelids? It is a freaking trip. Because I have had a practice for years that every house I've ever lived in, I walk through it at night with my eyes closed and do what I need to do. And then I did it one time, and then I did another time, and then I did it last night. And I'm like, ooh. It's such a weird thing. I'm seeing the room, but my eyes are closed, and wherever I look, I'm seeing it's a trip. Anyway, back to Gigi. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Mom had, see, that's the thing is, mom had a lot of stomach, so she is a very grounded human being. She is probably one of the most grounded human beings I've ever known. And to see her come from such a disheveled place, it really does give me hope that one day I'll just be, maybe there's that place that I won't respond. I'm not there yet. I'm very reactionary, and I don't like it. It's character defect. It's what I work on. It's a little demon I got. Yeah. So, if you set your intention, where just the part in your body where that is, the energy is separate from your soul sac. So there shouldn't be much division in there. You're not getting dinged for trying to do something to make your body better. That's a good rule of thumb. There's all these people there's all these people have intuition. People are getting more psychic, all this stuff, so basically bottom line is more people are starting to hear voices and stuff like that. I go by this. If something's telling me to do something good, that's God, good orderly direction. If something is telling me to harm myself or others, that's some negative, dark demon, that's some entity, that's something, cause ain't nothing out of good orderly direction wants you to harm yourself or anybody else. That's all ego stuff. That's all power. That's all that weird pervy stuff that comes with it. The quick story, I broke my first chakra open on. I broke my coccyx, my tailbone. That sucker broke. And I did it on Mount Shasta, which ironically is the Earth's first chakra. I came off, it's the only time I ever went skiing, and it was snowboarding. And we went up. I got my, did all that stuff, checked it, rented the board, boots, all that stuff, never been before. Got on the ski lift with my buddy, Paulie, and his then wife, Vicky, up at Mount Shasta. And where you come off the chair, it's like, we got there kind of late, I guess. So like where the sun had hit it, started, and then it was ice. It was just a sheet of ice. So I mean, there's nothing to even grab onto. There was just ice. And Vicky and Paul went off to the side, and I just went right over the slickest part, and I just went down. And I frickin', that pain shot straight up my spine. I frickin' saw stars. I mean, I've done a lot of things to get hurt in my life. That was one of the top 3 of the most painful things. I've done boiling water on my leg. Had to have it scrubbed in physical therapy for a week with like a Brillo pad. We're freaking relentless, man. Oh, that hurt. I'd done a lot of stuff, but that hurt. So, but it never stopped me. Because I put my energy field there, color that it's supposed to be, and concentrate on that, we gotta have little outs and reprieves and breaks and stuff like that. You know, we're supposed to be living heaven on earth, but the freaking demons had taken over. So I'm trying to get some land back. It's just me so far. So, all right. I called today spoiled brat. I have here, why your kid is a brat. A society, and these are my notes, society of people doing what they are good at. Ever see? Okay, and then I already talked about scenes from my eyelids. People that have kids really don't like when people that don't have kids talk about people that have kids. Everyone should be able to talk about stuff because I have to deal with the byproduct of the pattern that I have seen so many people do my whole entire life. And the funny part of it is it doesn't matter the economic background. It doesn't matter the color of the parent's skin. It doesn't matter, like, it's just like how people rear people. I wasn't raised this way, so it's easy for me to speak in matters of facts without any emotion. And people get so upset because they hear me say things and then they identify with the thing that I say. And then before you know it, they're standing on the offense fence where they choose to take offense. And frankly, I don't even know who the holy hell they are. I'm just talking to myself in front of a screen. Maybe sometimes people listen. Mostly for the last 6 years, they haven't. I just have been tried and true and consistent with my practice because it's part of my discipline. Anyway, when I was born, I didn't meet Mom until I was on this earth for 3 days. Because they had taken me out cesarean because she's really small, tiny little lady. She's only small in stature. And so they cut her right down the middle, took me out, and then they cut her uterus in half, took out one of her ovaries, and sewed her back up, which caused a great imbalance in her. And also sterilized her. And she was never going to have kids ever again. And it was done without her permission, mind you. This was in 1974. So, she was incapacitated, and maybe that's why I kind of like nurses and like, the caring types, because that's all I knew for the first few days. And my father wasn't there. I didn't meet him until, I don't think he came down until like I was on this earth like a week before he came. Anyway. So, they were estranged. I don't, still to this day, I don't know the whole story. I'm getting closer to gain my courage enough to ask him, my dad. I haven't, but I still got to process a little bit more, so we'll see. Story will continue to unfold. I like this. Culture pop soda, watermelon, lime, and rosemary. All right. So, I had a hard life. They were divorced before I was born. I was a little bastard baby. And my dad did not like me. And it's funny because he's Aries, I'm an Aries. So I'm a girl, but it was like if I was the son, I probably would have been the son that he always would have wanted, but I wasn't. I was the daughter. He didn't like me very much, and he didn't treat me very, very nice, very good. And he was that guy. He was the ladies' man, He was a good-looking guy. He lived in a place. His parents, they lived there. He still lives in the same town he was born in. It's just all that stuff. But it was just real hard for us. But so I watched. I was real perceptive. you know, because we didn't have so much. I always was amazed to see how much stuff people had. People had how good they like. Oh man, you got central heat? Wow. You got air conditioning? Wow. Are you guys rich? You know, you get to eat the whole month. You know. Like, because there are a lot of times that we didn't have food. Like, popcorn for dinner. I mean, it was just a lot of times no dinner. It just was real shitty in a lot of ways. And I go around and I see these patterns, you know. And people would have kids and they talk about how, oh, look, my kid. Oh, this is my kid, you know. And then it's always advances and it's always growing faster and it's always, you know, you know, this and all of these kids that and all these parents tell their kids, they get them everything and they surround them with the most comfort, the creature comforts and stuff, and nothing is ever uncomfortable, and you know, everything's always great and wonderful, and nobody's yelling, and that's all nice and stuff. And these kids, they grow up and they live in a bubble, right? They got this stuff, and then they're told, their parents are telling them that they can do anything and everything, and that they're so special, right? They're so special, and there's nothing, you know, there's nothing, and they're telling them all this stuff, and they're building them. They're up. The thing of it is the world. When they go out in the world is going to present a different picture. It is. You know, I mean, when I was growing up, people taught you share with what you have. Share with what you have. And if you say you're going to share and you don't share, then you don't get any either. You know what I mean? But share. It was something, my first video I ever made, March 26, 2017, I think it was. Sharing is caring. Yes, I do. And I look around and I look at and people aren't taught. And where I live, the story unfolds. I mean, how many of these guys are in prison because their mommies, when they were babies, you know, bought them their little Air Jordans, got them the best clothes, you know, and growing up in the system on welfare, we didn't, and see, that's the thing, is mom taught us that you pay your bills before you live within your means. You pay your bills. You don't get to go spend and have fun and go to the circus and go play and do this, and you don't get to do that. Heck, we didn't even get to have a car a lot of the times because she couldn't afford it. One, you know, that wasn't an old junker, but we had a Nova, man. That thing was sweet though. I like muscle cars. Anyway, but I think it was a 73. We had a Mercury too that was like, yeah, it was a pretty cool car. Then when they were towing that one off, the hood popped up like it was waving by. That was pretty sweet. But there's this great imbalance, you know. But nobody's perfect. Stop telling freaking your kids that they are and that they can't do anything wrong. You know, people feed the ego. And then they learn how to get their ego fed, and then they go out in the world and they look for all the places of all the people that are going to feed their ego, and that's a dark, dingy world. It's just bizarre. It's just weird how much, I mean, like kids with like motorcycles. I remember I wanted a motorcycle real bad. I wanted a little Yamaha YZ80. My uncle had a motorcycle. He had this was back in like 86. He had like a Yamaha YZ. What did he have? I want to say a 460. Anyway, I can't remember. I lost my flow. And he was like he's 80 now, so he was like in his 40s, so he was my age, and he was desert racing, you know, and we actually lived in the same town down in Paso Robles at this time when it was that my 12th year was like the hardest year. That was, well, I don't know, I've had harder years since, but that was a pretty tough year. I didn't go to school for 7 weeks and then went to 4 different schools. Mom's brother Kelly died. There was like, that was the year that the freaking Challenger blew up. We saw that. Mr. Euler's room. And it was a lot of culture shock. My Aunt Nanya died, who I was named after, Margaret, and Tulare. But why was I telling that? Oh, the whole 6th grade year thing. I'm getting distracted. Luna, stop licking her feet. I woke up to that, to Luna going. I just keep a potty pad right by the bed for that reason now. She gets hot. And she licks, and so I don't know. She had like a ball of, and then plus she a couple days ago she was eating one of the potty pads. She likes to chew on things sometimes. I gotta be careful, and so yeah. You okay, baby girl? Was it coming about it? Oh, when I wanted a motorcycle. And I thought that, and I had, see, because I used to let my imagination get carried away. I don't do it. I can do it. I can do it now. I just don't. I'm not into breaking my own heart anymore. We'll just put it that way. Having expectations just breaks my own heart. So I had this whole idea that like maybe mom and dad would because they hated each other. But I thought maybe, because, the love that they had for me, that they would settle their differences. They'd put them aside and work together and surprise me with a used dirt bike, just a used one, but we went over to my birthday had come and we'd gone over to these people's house that mom was friends with the lady, and I didn't really like any of them. What do you do? So we go over there, and mom said, okay, come in the backyard. And I was just like, oh my God, what I imagine is coming true. Like, she's going to take me back there and there's going to be a motorcycle back there. Oh my, I can't believe this is happening, right? Like, I mean, because it has been a hard year, I forgot about that. I even flew to that. I was 12, mind you, and I flew by myself from Redding to Phoenix, Arizona, and the plane went to Arcata because the plane broke down there. So I missed my connecting flight in San Francisco. So and nobody escorted me, said, hey kid, come with me. And nothing like that. That was kind of a trip. Anyway, so mom's like, okay, come outside. We got one more present outside. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So I go outside, I open the door, and mom's standing there, and she's just giggling. She's just laughing. And I'm like, I'm looking around, and then I do this, and I look down, and there's this little toy motorcycle on the ground. And mom just thought it was so funny. And I didn't, but I can't let other people feel bad, because they used to always say, don't be selfish. It's not about you. It's not always about you. This stuff is, it drilled in me. I'm not just acting like some do-gooder. That's probably why I'm so crabby all the time, is because I'd rather just be some egomaniacal freaking, live for myself freaking, I'd probably be farther in life. No, I can't even do it. I can't even do it. So, anybody in the chat? But so many people, nobody should be freaking raising nobody like they're perfect. And then you got the different class systems where these people, somebody always gets the better seat because of who they are. And I can't wait till something big is gonna happen. And the playing field will be leveled. I thought it would. It had the opportunity because, humans have free will. We had the opportunity to do that the last couple years, and just more and more people just got freaking greedy. Where I live, it's like, it's all these, that's the cycle. It's you got people have kids young, and then they want to give them every single thing in the world, all this stuff that they never had, but even though they did, they just want to give them more. Give them stuff. Stuff doesn't make people decent human beings, man. Where I had to move from the other place, we got to move in there, or the kid, we were keeping the place for the kid because he was in prison. The lady, his mom told me it's because of armed robbery, but it was, in real life, it was attempted murder. But because of his connections, he didn't have to go to prison for his second felony because he got to go to a treatment facility, and he didn't even finish that, and now he's on his fourth felony. Because they do everything, you just do everything for them, and so they just go around and do whatever they want, and they get all involved with drugs because they're a bunch of really tiny little men. They got a Napoleon complex with little pew pew pews. It's just like, dude, you're shorter than me, dude. That gun don't make you tough either, man. Go learn a trade, man. But that would be a good solution, is like, especially in places where there's nothing to do. Give people something to do. When kids are young, you just watch how they play. The ones that like me, that I used to take everything apart and put it together again. Wouldn't always I'd have parts left over and stuff like that. But I was always very mechanically inclined. When I was in high school, I never took the SATs because I knew I wasn't going to college, even though I went to college, but not out of high school. So I knew I liked drinking too much, and I would make that a priority, and I didn't want to end up on academic probation. But I still got I got a 96 or a 97 on the on the military exam. But when you're seeing like kids like playing in the dirt, get them with the people that are working in the garden. When you see kids that are taking stuff apart and putting it together again, get them with the builder, or building stuff, like blocks. Get them with the construction workers, the ones that are engineering and stuff. Get them with the automotive people, stuff like that. More people got to learn how to do stuff, man. We're not going to have enough people. That Joey the Gypsy guy, he mentioned a little bit about his vehicle. I've been talking about this for a long time. He's waiting on a part. He's parked in a parking lot for weeks because he's waiting down a part. And I bet you whatever part he needs, there's probably like freaking 50 cars just because nobody knows how to do anything around here. Right? There's like the dad that did it like 3 generations ago, and then dad turned into grandpa, and then he's like, I can't do it anymore, and all the young, and nobody learned how. So it's like they don't put oil in the engine, so the engine blows up. So how many were surrounded? There's junk cars all over the place just because people didn't put for simple stuff. And people that live in a big city, and it don't gonna take much for you guys to be living like I'm living in this rural place. Really, I I do miss like the really good restaurants though. I really do. Like anybody ever goes to Omaha, do me a favor, go to Block 16 and you tell them Not So Large Marge sent you. If Paul and Jessica are working, I guess they got a farm. See, that's the thing is they got a farm, and then it is farm fresh to table. And they've been making good food for you. I mean, I hope I'm their number one fan. Tell them Not So Large Marge sent you, and check out their Facebook page at their menu, man. I mean, it's their food is just. She's from Canada, and he's from like New York, or vice versa. Yeah, I think that's how it is. And I know Paul from his Confluence days, when he worked at Confluence in Bellevue, and that's like 2000. That goes way back. So anyway, I love good food, so I treated myself and Mom. We went up I was gonna go to this. There's this new barbecue place in town, but if they just had pork ribs left, and I wasn't in the mood for that, and I called late in the day, and that's my fault. And they're going to be really successful, because you can tell it's. I'm a food snob, man. I used to drive. I go when I finally put senior airman on in the Air Force, because they had me on the way. A bunch of fat dudes told me that I needed to go to the gym and work out. So I did, and I got off the program, and they stayed fat. Anyway, but what it ain't nothing. I go out and pay $100 on a steak dinner, if it's really good. But the thing of it is like places around here, it's like they want $40, $50 for a meal, and it's mediocre at best. At best. I'm like, yeah, you and I've had really good sushi in freaking San Francisco, and I've had good food in San Francisco, and I've had good food all over the place. I've had good food in Greece, on the island of Crete, the hotel that I was at for Operation Iraqi bullshit. I've had good food all over the place. I know when you can taste the nutrients and feel the goodness from the soil, and it comes out in the food and makes your whole body all your cells happy, that's good food. Not all processed and stuff like that. That's easy food. That's convenient. That's lazy man's food. Oh God, I've been talking a long time. Spirit, soul, mind, body, and spirit. Yep. Today's doing pretty okay. Yeah, I've often fall through I can't find my own channel on YouTube when I look for Third Eye Activated. And one day I'm going to do a live. I have an account, my Margie Hessick account that I created back in 2007. No, it couldn't have been that. Hold on a second. Yeah, it was like 2007. Yeah, it was 2006, 2007. 2007. I worked at a place called West Corp, and I was service desk, so you just made it count for everything. So I had made my YouTube account for my name. And then so one day I'm going to do a live from that account, or maybe I'll create a different account, a third account. And then I'll do a live, and so I'll just do like a 3-way live. And that would be cool if I could get people to join me on different lives. Let's break the internet! Yeah, I see, that's why I meditate. That's why I meditate. I meditate. Like, I was thinking about that today. I haven't in a few days. My meditation, my inflammation hasn't been bad today. Like, I didn't wake up. It's a good day when no point am I going, like, walking like this. because some days it hurts so bad. That's how I walk. Freaking sucks, man. Sucks. Anyway, what else? Tomorrow I think I'll make my thumbnail or did I make it that today? Did I make it that? The moon, Venus, and Jupiter? I can't remember. I have Cancer in my chart. I don't have Taurus. I don't have any Earth. I have no Earth. That is why I have to work so hard to stay grounded. I go to my freaking. I think I was thinking about that today because where I take the dogs to the vet. Because we're in that cycle where this is the third time that we've done this since we've lived here, that they got to get dentals and they get their blood work done. And last year, Artie and Tucker, their liver's high, so they've been on medicine. And I didn't have them on it for a few months. And then there's I think that set them back, but now they're on it. It's like $70 a month a piece for them. And so it's very costly, and I'm at the vet a lot, and it stresses me out. And the people at the vet are so nice. I bring them cookies. One time the doctor ate one. He thought it was a cookie. They're like, "Doc!" He was like, "Wow," but he's cool, Dude's got to be in his 70s. Been practicing veterinary medicine 40 years. Anyway, last time when Benny had an abscess, and there's only one woman, one receptionist. She and I can communicate with her. The other receptionists, they don't get me. And the last time I called to get the medicine, it's this stuff. And one of the ladies that I don't communicate good with, or she doesn't communicate good with me, I should say. I was walking Artie. I said, "I'm going in the house. Let me grab the box and I'll tell you." So that way she can tell the vet techs they can get it ready. I can just stop by and pick it up. And she's like, "Oh, just drop by." And I was like, "No." Because then I'll have to wait, and I do not want to wait. That's why I'm calling now to be proactive. Confounded. So I was like, I couldn't believe that she was so dismissive, right? But she don't eat my cookies, so she don't care. And so I called back, and then my favorite gal answered. And I said, "Okay, how come you're the only one I can communicate with?" I said, "This is what I need." And she's like, "Okay, Marge, we got you. We'll have that ready for you." Right? And I said, "All right, thank you." So I go in and when I went in for Benny, because you can't get appointments for weeks here. If I call tomorrow to get him a regular appointment, it'll probably be next week. But dentals are weeks out. And they do 4 a day. And so I found out. I have so many questions. And so I think there just needs to be a spay and neuter clinic so that frees up the veterinarians to do the more pertinent things. Anyway, so my train of thought just derailed this song. Oh, but you can call sometimes. You can call sometimes in the morning, and if somebody cancels, they'll call you back. And so when Benny had he woke up, he was fine, and then by the time at 6 or 7, he was fine, and then by 8 o'clock, his face had swollen out, and I was like, So I called him. I go in there, so that was, I called them at 8. they call me the bed, but the bed himself called me and said, "Hey Marge, can you be in by 10?" I was like, "Yes, sir. I'll be right there, sir." Because I get so. I said, "Man, I never used to be like this. I swear, I used to be way more cool than like I could just be nothing." Would rattle me. Like I had my I could have medical procedures done, very painful ones, evasive ones, and just breathe through it. But it's those fucking anthrax vaccines, all 8 of them, because you got 2 at a time. It fried my endocrine system, so I gotta work harder. I know that. I gotta work harder. So the one gal, I don't know her name. I saw her at Walgreens the other day. And it was a Monday, and I'm like, I think I saw the gal that works there. But they always have scrubs on, and she had her civvies on. And so I don't know. But then when I saw her the last time, she verified. But she was the same. She's so nice. She's sweet. She's an Aries, too. She's a 3rd decadent Aries. I think she's April 15th or 16th. Can't remember her name. I don't know if she ever told me. But I was so worked up about Benny. She was like, "Do you want a hug?" I was like, "Yeah, please." She gave me a big old hug, and I was like, "Thank you. Thank you." I'm reading the chat. What am I doing? The best olive oil and honey. The best olive oil and honey. So yeah, no Taurus. I did date a Taurus. She actually does. She's very successful now. She does. She's a barber, and she got in the locker room at the Philadelphia Eagles. She married a fucking dirty scumbag cop. You know, It's funny. He's all the criteria of the program that I point out. Like, you got the guys that were freaking scumbags, you know, we're never really gonna do anything either, but they didn't want to go to jail, you know. So, you know, go into the fucking the dirty side of fucking law enforcement. Do a couple years in like a 2-year stint in the military, and then go home and get a job at your local cop shop, and then continue your D-bag ways, you know. And he's a dirty cop in Philadelphia, and you know, she had her daddy issues, so, and you know, it was so weird how like the group of recovery was so. I'm like, dude, she's 21 and he's like 40. He's 20 years. Ew. Why does everybody want them to get together? But there's arranged marriages everywhere, you know. And they're at the super. It's just all. It's all that world that is just. For young people, there's a lot going around, you know, like things that us old people would, you know, want our younger versions to say. No girl I ever liked in my whole entire life. There's no, and every girl at the time, it was like, oh my God, I want to be with them forever. All that stupid crap. But every single one of them, I'm so super stoked that it didn't work out. Every single one. So if you're young and you're, you know, you get sad because a relationship ends or whatever, yeah. But they let me do stuff to them. How many people are married today based on love or lust, or, you know, they let me do stuff to them? America's craptastic, isn't it? I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Kev, man, you're sleepy. You can get some sleep tonight. Cool. Yeah, you know what, though? Daddy issues, That's a seed planted a long time ago. I always thought that was creepy on Northern Exposure, the storyline with Holly and Shelley. And you know what's funny about the girl, the tourist that I dated, is that I was going to go meet her at this convention, at this like conference. And I remember talking to my friend in California, and I'm like, I'm going to go. And she's like, no, you're not. You're going to chicken out. And I chickened out. So I didn't talk to her, and then that's when Bobby Coyle, Bobo Coyle, and he had a thing. He was like this speaker that all these conventions, you know, he's supposed to be talking about recovery. Dude's a predator. Thank God he's married to her now. Well, she kind of was too, so they're like the perfect fucking couple. It worked out great, but he would like meet women at these like at these conventions, and like find the ones he liked and invite them to the room and freaking like jerk off for him and shit like that. It was like his move. He did it, and he would do it to women that knew each other, and then they'd talk. It's just so all that seedy, gross, chasing sensation stuff, you know. But it's all veiled in shroud and recovery, and you know, it's so stupid, man. The crap the people buy, dude. Buy into it, you know. Anyway. So. But thank goodness for freaking folks. I you know, that's the thing. I never had daddy issues or mommy. I just was like, okay, I accepted a long time ago. They just don't like me. And sometimes people's parents just don't like them. It's just how it is. I think they like me okay now, but I was a, I don't know, I was like an alien. They were trying to figure out what I was. I was always being tested for everything and stuff like that, and I was just, I don't know. I some words I will identify with just so that other people will say, okay, they'll get it, you know. But I don't really identify with a word, but other people identify with the word and put it with people like me. So, I'm autistic. And and nobody cared. Nobody cared. And I had to learn how to behave and to keep myself still and to discipline. I had to learn discipline, and everywhere I go out in the world, I just see, I'm like, man, there's ain't no discipline here. There's no discipline there. Where's the discipline there? You know, people are just going around do whatever they want, and there's no discipline anywhere. And the freaking world's about to go off on an edge, on the cliff. You know, best thing people can do is, man, if you got kids or you got kids in your life, or you're influencing anybody younger than you, teach them stuff that's practical. Teach them stuff so that they don't have to rely on other people to do everything for them. Anything. Teach it, you know, so you know how to cook. Teach people how to cook. You know, whatever you can do to help. There's a lot of people in this country that don't know how to take care of themselves. They just don't. Mom wouldn't be here if it weren't for me. She wouldn't be in here. Cause she'd rather go off into the freaking, you know, off into the ethers. Cause that's what people do. People get put in a home. A lot of people don't want to be there. They just shut down. And those places are terrible. People get paid like $12 an hour to wipe asses, and then they're pissed off about it, and then they take it out on the people. Oh, Mom. She's sleeping. I always put her to sleep, huh? Oh, Mom. You sleeping?
Yeah.
You getting tired? Yeah, it's about bedtime. Anyway, I've run my mouth long enough. Just practical skills, man. Practical skills. I live in New Mexico, and they're not doing any. They're not moving in the right direction. They're going more toward ego. Evidently, this is like the new Hollywood here in New Mexico. Evidently, there's like 7 studios, different studios, and they're all freaking making Netflix movies and shit like that around here, you know? It's, it's a trip. Anyway, that's what I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.